Welcome to the From Scratch Body. I'm Liv. Today we are doing white rice in the Instant Pot. I love using the Instant Pot for cooking rice, different types of grains and seeds. You will be able to see already that I've done a quinoa and a bulgur wheat in the Instant Pot, and honestly it's perfect every time, because if you just get the ratio to water right and if you get the timing right, you just know that it's doing it on its own, and then you can focus on more fun parts of the meal that you're making. So today I'm going to do rice for 2 people. So I've done a 3/4 cup, which is about 150 grams of rice. So I'm going to rinse it properly first. I'm sure you know, but if you are wondering why we need to rinse the rice, it's to get rid of the excess starch that is on the rice. And the longer you have the patience to do it for, the more of that starch you're going to get rid of, which means that it's not going to get so stuck together. So it's just going to be nicer rice. An added bonus when you rinse your rice is that you can get rid of any nasties that might be on it. We don't really know what kind of journey our rice has been on, so it's definitely good to rinse it well regardless. But I'm going to do that over there where my sink is. So I've just poured in a generous amount of water here, and I'm just going in a circular motion until we get really milky looking water. Then I'm going to rinse that out. I'll repeat that same thing again. I'll just put loads of water in there and then go circular, circular. It's still going to be milky. Try and go until it runs pretty clear. And then I usually just go with the rice into a sieve at the end and do a little extra rinse of the rice as it's in the sieve, and then I put it back in here like so. I'm spreading the rice out a little bit across the surface so it'll be easier to cover with water. So there's no water in here now, and that's important just so you know exactly the ratio that you're doing. And you don't need a perfect 3/4 cup if you don't have those exact measuring cups. You can use a coffee mug or whatever if you know exactly what kind of, you can use a little mark to know exactly what is the perfect amount of rice, because we all just do too much, don't we, always. The important thing to know is that you are doing a 1-to-1 ratio of rice to water. I actually do 1-to-1, but just maybe a splash more of water, because I'd rather have it a bit wetter and just keep it in here warm until that kind of evaporates and goes perfect, instead of it turning out too dry. But 1-to-1 is the rule. So I've got a 3/4 cup of rice in here, so 3/4 cup of water. A 3/4 cup of water, if you're doing for 2 people like me, is about 165 grams of water. I'm just, as I said, going to add a tiny splash more. And when I say tiny, I mean tiny. Then you can add a pinch of salt to add a bit of taste. You can also add a 1/4 or 1/2 a stock cube, vegetable or chicken or whatever you want that can fit with the meal that you're having. Close the lid, make sure that the valve is closed, and then we go for 3 minutes on high pressure. Once it has pressure cooked for 3 minutes, so it will have to build up first, then it will count down 3, 2, 1, then it will beep, as I'm sure you know if you already have an Instant Pot, and then it will start counting up with the letter L at the front. It might be different for different Instant Pots, but that's what mine does. And what you then do is you leave it, you do not release the valve, definitely not with your head over it, and you let it naturally release for 10 minutes. So when this says 10 minutes here on the display, then we release, and basically it is completely naturally released then, so you probably wouldn't have that much steam. So let's give it 10 minutes and let's see how our rice looks. All right, we are at 10 minutes, so let's try and open the valve. Just a little spit, it's completely naturally released now. Let's have a look at this rice. It's good to use a wooden spoon or spatula if you can, because it doesn't break up the rice too much. We just fluff it up, check that it's all looking good, which it is, of course, because we know that this formula is going to work. So every time, 1-to-1 ratio of rice to water, no matter how much rice you need for you and your household. Then you add a sprinkle of salt if you like, or some stock. If you have liquid stock, you can use that too. You just have to remember that that needs to replace the water. So you can do, you know, half water, half stock, for example. And as expected, that is absolutely perfect white rice, which you get every time if you follow this formula. This is jasmine rice, by the way. I forgot to say that at the start. So that is perfect with this kind of technique. I hope this is successful for you as well. If you like these videos and they're helpful for you, please like and subscribe so that I can make more of them. And I hope to see you in the next one.